From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aishah Ashraf. Thousands of Palestinians in Gaza are walking for miles, many barefoot and carrying children, to reach one of just 4 operational aid centers offering limited flour. Footage shows desperate crowds waiting for hours in overcrowded conditions. The aid centers are run under an Israeli-American scheme, while 400 UN-run centers remain closed due to Israeli restrictions. Since March 2nd, Israel has enforced a total blockade on Gaza, barring entry of food, medicine, and humanitarian aid. The UN says Israel is blocking its 6,000 trucks waiting on the border to deliver supplies to the region. The United Nations has declared Gaza's famine has reached its final and most catastrophic stage. Last November, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. Israel also faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice for its genocide in the region. Israel killed at least 79 Palestinians in Gaza over the past 24 hours, including 23 civilians seeking aid. More than 450 were injured, with Israeli strikes targeting shelters, refugee camps, and hospitals. Al Jazeera Arabic reports that Israeli forces have killed more than 41 Palestinians in Gaza since Thursday morning. Wafa news agency reports that an Israeli airstrike on a residential apartment in the Tel al-Hawa neighborhood killed 7 people, including children, a pregnant woman, and her unborn child. Israeli soldiers also targeted an ambulance near Hamad Rehabilitation Hospital in northwestern Gaza City, injuring members of the medical team. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed more than 64,000 Palestinians, the majority of them women, children, and the elderly, according to a major study published in the British medical journal The Lancet in January. More than 143,000 have been wounded since October 2023. Columbia University will pay $200 million over 3 years to settle Trump administration claims that it failed to address antisemitism on campus. The deal includes $21 million to end federal investigations and grants the government oversight of the university's admissions and hiring practices. The university has also agreed to share data on some foreign students with immigration authorities. In return, most of the $400 million in paused federal grants, including National Institutes of Health and the Department of Health and Human Services, will be reinstated. While not admitting wrongdoing, Columbia acknowledged that Jewish students faced what it called painful, unacceptable incidents. It has accepted 9 prior demands, including banning masks at protests and tightening control over its Middle East Studies program. The settlement follows disciplinary action against more than 70 students involved in Free-Palestine protests, including the occupation of Butler and Hamilton Halls. The university claims the agreement strengthens its commitment to fighting antisemitism. A federal appeals court has blocked President Donald Trump's executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled 2-1 that the order is very likely unconstitutional. It upheld a nationwide injunction halting enforcement while legal challenges continue. The executive order sought to deny automatic citizenship to children born in the U.S. to undocumented or temporary status immigrants. It was set to take effect on July 27th. States like Washington, Arizona, Illinois, and Oregon sued, warning it would hurt population counts and reduce federal funding. The court agreed, saying the order violated the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause. Trump signed the order in January, but multiple courts now have blocked it, citing constitutional protections and legal precedent. A leaked video has sparked outrage after showing migrants in harsh conditions at a New York immigration facility. The footage, shared with Assemblywoman Catalina Cruz, shows migrants packed in a small room at 26 Federal Plaza. They are seen lying on thermal blankets, sitting on benches, and using toilets separated only by waist-high dividers. Immigrant advocates and lawmakers say the site is operating more like a detention center than a processing facility. Congressman Jerry Nadler and Dan Goldman were recently denied entry, raising further concerns. The Department of Homeland Security denies the claims, saying the center is only for brief processing and not overcrowded. Officials insist detainees receive meals, medical care, and legal aid. But Assemblywoman Cruz says the video proves human rights are being violated. Advocates are demanding congressional oversight and better treatment for migrants. Muslim Americans show a mix of Democratic and Republican leanings, according to Pew Research's latest religious landscape study. While 53% of Muslims identify with or lean toward Democrats, 42% now align with Republicans, a narrowing gap. Many cite frustration with former President Biden's stance on Gaza for the shift. Yet, Muslim political views remain diverse. On issues like immigration, racial diversity, and big government, Muslims align more with Democrats. But on topics like family roles, gender identity, and sexuality, they lean Republican. On abortion and religion in public life, Muslim opinions are split, more so than either party's base. For instance, 55% support school prayer and 57% support legal abortion in most cases. Though Muslims make up just over 1% of U.S. adults, their impact is notable in key regions. The study surveyed nearly 37,000 people, including 273 Muslims. On a landmark visit to Bangladesh, Interior Minister Mohsen Naqvi says Rohingya will get special passports to aid resettlement. Details coming up after the break.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you all to the Muna Convention.
Join thousands of Muslims from across the nation, uniting for a powerful calling to be the torchbearers of Islam.
Unity is power.
We center Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything else, my dear brothers and sisters, becomes centered.
It starts inside of us. We are the change.
Put the man together and the world will automatically come together.
Teach the recitation of the Quran, teach hikmah, purified mankind, purified the society.
This is how they lived their lives. A life of devotion, of beautifulness, of faithfulness, of commitment to Allah Azza wa Jalla.
So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us a community of leadership, a community that holds this amana, this trust of this beautiful message, a community that stands for good, that enjoins good, that forbids evil, together, that honors its elders, that inspires its youth. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to continue the youth movement.
August 8th through 10th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. 3 days to recharge your soul, to connect, reflect, and grow. This is more than a convention. This is a call. Register now at www.munaconvention.com.
A group of Israeli teenagers are claiming they were attacked by an anti-Israel mob while vacationing on the Greek island of Rhodes. The incident occurred Wednesday outside the Hakuna Matata nightclub, which is frequented by Israeli tourists. The teens claim that some protesters gathered outside the club and a verbal clash broke out. As the group tried to leave, they say they were confronted again. One protester reportedly asked if they were Israeli, then called more than 30 to 40 others who chased them, some on motorcycles. The incident came less than a day after an Israeli-owned cruise ship was barred from docking at the Greek island of Syros due to a large anti-Israel protest. The ship had to reroute to Cyprus. Greece remains a top destination for Israeli tourists, with more than 621,000 visiting last year. Free-Palestine activists staged a protest during the Tour de France, demanding the Israeli cycling team's removal from the race. As riders passed through the southeastern French town of Dieulefit, which is known for sheltering Jews during World War II, shouts of Free Palestine echoed along the route. Dozens waved Palestinian flags and banners reading Israel out of the tour and starving is killing. One demonstrator called co-owner Sylvan Adams a spokesperson for a genocidal army on a loudspeaker. Although organizers have not commented on the incidents, residents say Dieulefit's history of protecting the persecuted inspired the peaceful protest. Throughout the event, police provided extra security for the Israeli team. As well, last week, a man was arrested in the city of Toulouse after running onto the track with a pro-Palestine message. Free-Palestine protesters blocked the entrance to Wells Fargo's New York office on Wednesday, denouncing the bank's financial ties to Israeli weapons maker Elbit Systems. They also condemned its support for fossil fuel projects like the Mountain Valley Pipeline. Activists accused the bank of profiting from war and environmental destruction. Holding signs that read "Boiler Room Funds Genocide," the protest comes as Gaza's humanitarian crisis deepens and Palestinians from Gaza face starvation. The Council on American Islamic Relations is accusing House Speaker Mike Johnson of turning the House Foreign Affairs Committee into a hotbed of Islamophobia and anti-Palestinian racism. This follows the appointment of Florida Republican Representative Randy Fine, known for his long-standing and virulent anti-Muslim and anti-Palestinian rhetoric. Fine has endorsed Israeli bombings, suggested nuking Palestinians, mocked Palestinian deaths, and threatened Muslim Congresswomen Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. The former casino executive's rhetoric has drawn widespread condemnation for promoting hate, violence, and collective punishment against Muslims and Palestinians, both in the U.S. and abroad. CAIR's Edward Ahmed Mitchell said the committee should prioritize U.S. interests, not Israeli policies. The committee is led by Representative Brian Mast, who has compared Palestinians to Nazis. Pakistan is issuing passports to Rohingya Muslims to help them settle in third world countries, but not granting them citizenship. Interior Minister Mohsen Naqvi, who is touring Bangladesh, said passports carry distinct codes to identify holders as Rohingya. This is the first visit by a top Pakistani official to Bangladesh in over a decade. Pakistan's largest city, Karachi, is home to more than 400,000 Rohingya, the largest population outside Burma and Bangladesh. Naqvi met Bangladeshi Home Minister Jahangir Alam Chaudhry in Bangladesh's capital, Dhaka. Chaudhry sought Pakistan's support in repatriating 1.3 million Rohingya refugees Bangladesh has sheltered since 2017. The crypto ETF market is booming, driven by major legislative wins and investor confidence. Roxana Islam said recent U.S. laws like the Genius Act, which regulates stablecoins, and the Clarity Act, clarifying SEC versus CFTC oversight, are boosting market sentiment. The House also passed a bill limiting Federal Reserve powers on digital currency. Islam noted crypto prices are soaring. Bitcoin hit a record $120,000 with more than $2 billion in ETF inflows in 1 week. Ether surged 25% with its ETFs pulling in $2.7 billion. The first ever spot Solana ETF also debuted, attracting up to $90 billion despite high fees. Matt Bartolini from State Street Global Advisors said ETF flows could hit a record $1.3 trillion in 2025. Investors are favoring low-cost and active ETFs with major inflows into SPDRs, S&P 500, Treasury bill, and gold funds. New launches like the Bridgewater All-Weather ETF are also gaining traction fast. A new British study has found that the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated brain aging, even in people who never caught the virus. Published in Nature Communications, the research analyzed brain scans of nearly 1,000 healthy adults using UK Biobank data. Scientists discovered that stress, isolation, and lifestyle changes during the pandemic impacted cognitive health, especially in men and those from poor backgrounds. The study found that accelerated brain aging was linked not just to infection, but also to socio-psychological factors. Older adults and people facing economic hardship were particularly affected. Those infected showed more noticeable declines in tasks requiring flexibility and speed. However, even uninfected individuals experienced age-related cognitive decline due to the broader disruptions caused by the pandemic. Researchers say the findings underscore the urgent need to tackle health and social inequalities to protect cognitive well-being in future crises. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is set to launch a groundbreaking health knowledge portal to fight disease outbreaks like Mpox across the continent. Mpox now affects 26 African countries. The new platform will serve as a one-stop hub for health data, policy insights, and research, enabling faster responses to outbreaks. The portal, backed by the Rockefeller and MasterCard Foundations, will be AI-powered and multilingual. It offers real-time tools, personalized content, and mobile access. Hosted at continental, regional, and national levels, it will integrate with national health systems and support local adaptation. The initiative aims to close Africa's global health knowledge gap and strengthen its public health systems. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bring you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.